Hi, I'm Kimberly Butler. Welcome back to my vlog. Dehumanization Part 2. What is the new medium doing to our minds? What effect is it having on society? I sat down and I spoke to people like Dr. Keith Abloh, Amy Goodman, Bob Simon, and we explored this question.
It's not enough information on the television news. If they're on 24 hours a day, they know that people are going to tune in at different times, and so they're going to need the big chunks over and over again. So basically, it can never get deep that way.
When we were designing CNN before it went on the air, we thought, how will we fill 24 hours of television with clear, accurate information every day? How are we going to do that? And we learned in the first couple weeks that we didn't have, that 24 hours was not nearly enough time to fill the airwaves with the news that we wanted to put on.
Even without the budgetary cutbacks of news organizations, the internet would be such a powerful tool because it's there. It's always there. It's like cable news, but it's always there. And you can plug in any time. And cable news, you're still a victim of what they care to broadcast at any given time.
I take a very different view of what the mainstream media says. They often say, you know, kids have ADD, kids are interested in 9 or 10 seconds. We will run a speech for 45 minutes and the audience builds. If we're going to solve problems, we need to hear how someone critically thinks, how someone starts in one place and arrives at a very different position. Kids need to hear how someone critically thinks. Sound bites are a major problem for solving problems. Because sound bites, the average sound bite is 8 or 9 seconds. What can you get in that amount of time? It takes time to explain that. When you're not mouthing the conventional, what's called wisdom, that'll take more than 9 seconds. So if you only have that amount of time, you sound crazy if you're broadcast at all.
We've become a multitasking society, and the computer has been part of that. I mean, the fact that we can now do so many things at once and so quickly, our attention spans have shortened. Go look at a 50s TV show that seemed perfectly appropriate in its pacing in 1950. And now you want things faster. We don't need to lay all the information in that we used to lay in visually for people. They get it. They've been trained by MTV. The quick cuts work for them.
When, as a reporter, you have to package your piece in a minute 10 because you have to make space for commercials. And when I left the news, that was certainly one of the reasons. When I had to tell a whole story, no matter how complex, in a minute 10, then that's the end of it. You cannot, with any degree of complexity and truthfulness, tell the essence of the story in that short amount of time.
60 Minutes doesn't do sound bites. And 60 Minutes has always had 3 stories of a little less than 15 minutes each.
When you read a book, it takes all your imagination. You bring all your imagination because nothing is there except words on a page in black and white. Now, wasn't Hogwarts a much more vivid and transformative universe in the book than it was in the movie? That's why they always say the book's always better. It's right, the book's always better because it's a cold medium, because it relies on your imagination. In television, there's very little left to the imagination visually. That's the hottest possible medium. Now we've got the internet. It's cold and hot. In many places on the web, as you know, little is left to the imagination. But it takes your interactivity to make the web work.
People are less interested in the truth today. So if you tell someone the truth and the truth causes them any discomfort, they'll blame you. They'll say, you're saying this because you're a liberal. You're saying this because you're a conservative. You're saying this because you're black. You're saying this because you're white. You're saying this because you're 55. They want to put you in a box. And again, they're much more interested in all of the trappings than they are in the message. They're not interested in the news content as much as they are interested in all that surrounds it. The internet and the cable systems all are designed. If you're black, watch this cable channel, and we'll tell it to you in a way that will be comforting to you in terms of what we consider to be the truth for black people. Or if you're a woman, here's exactly the kind of programming you like. If you're a conservative, here's the programming you like. If you're a liberal, here's the programming you like. If you're a young male and you just want to watch sports and bear ads and half-naked girls, we got that for you. Everybody gets reduced to exactly what, so the whole notion of larger community that's interested in truth and truth that spans across all sorts of divisions and niches, there are people who say, I just don't want to hear that truth. It makes me uncomfortable. You know, when I was coming up, the old saying for journalists was that we were people who tried to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable.
I think print media, which is dying, is one that encourages you to interact with the message because you're made to conjure up the scenes as you're reading about them. You have the time and the leisure to flip a page or not. The medium of the internet is a highway that drags you along with it. And so the pace at which we use our BlackBerry devices, the pace at which instant messages flow to you, the fact that you can broadcast your story so quickly, I think it takes you out of yourself. It doesn't ground you in yourself. Now, I think really if people were going to try to ground themselves again, what would I say? I'd say you got to read more in terms of information management. Buy a newspaper, hold it, understand that there's an author who's written those words. There's something about the ink. There's something about seeing the byline. There's something about the fact that you can keep it. You can put it in your closet, all of which is very important because, look, what are young people doing now? They're piercing themselves, tattooing themselves, and hugging forever in the hallways. They want to have things that are physical and grounding.
To read books is as necessary to being an informed citizen as is being on the internet, watching television, listening to radio, reading newspapers. And, you know, my fear is that book reading, real book reading, is picking up a fairly serious book on a serious subject, is going a little out of fashion. I hope that's not so, because when you talk about being well-informed, which of the media today do you go to be well-informed? My answer is you need to find the quality in each of the media and go there often.
Thanks for watching. Do they sanitize the news? Next time.